And we have just heard from the Israeli defense minister himself, issuing a press statement saying to those troops gathered with their armor outside Gaza, you will soon see Gaza from the inside. He said the command will come. Miri was a senior intelligence officer in the Israeli Defense Forces. She's now director of the International Institute for Counterterrorism at Israel's Reichman University, and she's joining me from Tel Aviv. Miri, welcome to the program. So first, your reaction to the statement from the defense minister. I mean, it's clearly preparing what everybody thinks is going to happen.
We've been preparing this for over a week. We've been trying to get as many civilians from the northern Gaza Strip to leave that area for over a week. The troops have been in preparation for quite a long time. At this stage, it's a question of when are they going to give the actual order to go in, but the preparations are full scale ahead. I can't say if it'll be today. It may be in a few days, but it will happen, I think.
You're a university professor. You're at the university there. All the young people, they're presumably also mobilized.
Everybody's mobilized right now. In Israel, they deferred the opening of the university school year. It was supposed to open last week. They've deferred it so far to November. We've already had a few casualties from within our students, both in people murdered and in the soldiers that have gone in to fight. So every single house, university, all over Israel, everybody is in this, both mobilized and mourning.
We hear the mourning, we hear the rage, we hear the grief, and we hear the single-minded purpose. To wit, President Biden warned that this is what America went through, these precise feelings after 9/11, and the rage and the grief and the mourning led to big mistakes, he said. He was clearly pointing to the Iraq War, but also in Afghanistan 20 years later. Does that worry you? Your own former prime minister, former General Barak, said, the red mist, the boiling blood is not the best for strategic success.
I'm not sure that right now that's where we are. And Christiane, at the end, this is something that happened in our houses from the Gaza Strip right next to there. I was at one funeral yesterday of a community that buried over 3 days 100 people out of 400, and that's aside from the hostages. When we're talking about what happened to these beautiful agricultural communities inside Israel, and I want Miri, I've always been very calm about these things. We need to go in after a terror horrific organization that is embedded and is part of the Gaza Strip, and we're aware of that. And that's why for over a week we've been saying to civilians, move, get out. Make sure that they don't use you as human shields. But you have to get to those capabilities. You can't have them 5 kilometers from your house. You can't tell people, go back and live there when you know that they have those capabilities.
I want to ask you, before I get more to that, to the wider war. We're hearing relentless information from Israel and from the IDF that there are increasing skirmishes, or whatever word you want to use, from Hezbollah, from the north. And we also heard the IDF Chief of General Staff, Halevi, said this today, okay? Just take a listen.
We need to get to a point where there will be a victory in every encounter. If Hezbollah makes a mistake and strikes us, it will be destroyed, destroyed, destroyed.
Miri, those are fighting words. I covered the 2006 war, and at best it was fought to a standstill between you and Hezbollah. Do you believe, because it's much, much better armed and it's got much more sophisticated stuff right now, that Israel at this point can fight a multi-pronged war?
I absolutely think that Israel can do so and may have to do so. Christiane, perhaps what's different, everything's different than 2006. And at that time, I was the spokesperson talking to the world, and we were talking about something that was much more local. The world is in this right now. It's not just President Biden arriving here, and today we had the visit from the British Prime Minister, and before that, the German Chancellor. The world is on board in the fact that you cannot allow a Hamas terror organization, not about the Palestinian people, Hamas, to do what they did and then to continue to exist behind those human shields. And when it comes to Hezbollah, there is at the end both the U.S. force that's out there. And I do think that this is something that is not just about Israel. It's way broader than that. two hybrid, horrific terror organizations, and both of them need to be very clearly sidelined by the world. And that means at the end that we're going to have to do something with them physically. They call not just for our destruction, they have immense power, and we need to be sure that we do something. My heart goes out to the Lebanese people, to the Palestinian people, where these different terror organizations, again, it's such a complicated challenge for us, but we have that power and we will use it.
What will you do? You've written about the hostages. We hear that 203 families have been told that they have loved ones who are hostage. Is that it? Are there more, do you think? And how will you get them? Because they're also embedded, presumably. And if you go in a very dramatic ground war after very dramatic airstrikes, which is, as you know, are killing a lot of people on the ground right now, no matter what warnings you're putting out. How do you secure the release of the hostages?
The unprecedented attack, the unprecedented war that we're in, it's unprecedented when it comes to the issue of the hostages. Christiane, 203 families have been informed, but there are hundreds of additional families that have not been informed, but they also don't know where their dear ones are, both from families and communities where they still haven't found everybody inside those different 20-some communities that were attacked, from that music festival where you had so many 20 to 30-year-olds at a beautiful music festival, and not everybody's accounted for. So when we talk about the numbers and we talk about Hamas, the terror organization, it's not like they've put anything out. How do you take care of that? First of all, they're in every single heart in Israel. All of us are aware of it. All of us are out there. It's so unprecedented. I'm even asking you right now in the world, what would you do? They have 9-month babies that they took.
No, I'm saying how. How? I understand. How do you do it?
How do you do it? You do it with the ground operation, and that means casualties on the Israeli side and casualties on the Palestinian side, but that's going in to get to the Hamas, to the hostages. That's one way going about. You try and do it in more interesting ways. All of us understand that the Gaza Strip is not a place that you have a lot of maneuverability. So I say breathing in deep. The ground operation is the absolute, almost only way to be able to get to them. I don't believe Hamas. I'm not going to negotiate with them. How do you do it otherwise?